Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 12 of Drafts and Drafts. This is Drafts and Drafts with Timmy McBee and Adam E. I am your host, Timmy McBits, and we got a stupanger 12th episode for you tonight. I am here with my co-host and longtime friend, the Ottawa original, Mr. Adam E. Adam, how you feeling tonight, man? How are you doing?
Feeling pretty good, trying to channel my inner retirement look. I see you're also going for the same. You're a little bit more golf. I'm a little bit more possibly Margaritaville. Not sure if that's the best look on me, but it'll have to do. How are you doing tonight?
I'm good. Yeah, I think we both went for, how we envision our retirements going. You know what I mean? And personally, I'm picturing a lot of golf, hopefully a lot of sun, a lot of just relaxing. And I don't know what you obviously doing other stuff, but I don't know, Adam, what do you think? Like, what's your plan? What's your number one thing you want to do here?
A lot of food, a lot of beach, possibly a one of those Bubba cakes.
A Bubba cake, nice.
Fill with the drink of the day, hanging out, just relaxing. Nothing too crazy, but I think my picks might reflect that a little bit.
We'll have to see. And I don't know if you've been following the NHL season is starting to it's getting close to the end here. I'm getting pretty excited. The Leafs are still doing pretty well. Obviously I'm a Toronto guy and you're an Ottawa guy, and I know your team's kind of, I don't want to say, actually I feel like the Senators have been a pleasant surprise for a lot of points this summer. This winter, a lot of positive things to look forward to.
Yeah, they started off 1-0 this year against the Leafs.
Yep.
Quickly proceeded to lose, I think, 9 in a row. So that kind of sunk their playoff chances pretty early on. They've been hot lately, which is the perfect time to play themselves out of the ideal draft lottery positions.
Yeah.
But I'm sure the Leafs won't lose in an elimination game of the first round again. I'm sure they won't.
Yeah.
Not trying to put it into the ether, but we'll have to see.
Yeah. No. This year's, it's always going to be, every year's different, right? You got to go into it with fresh belief, fresh enthusiasm, just so that your soul can be crushed even harder the next time. But no, it should be good. It should be good. And before we get into the topic tonight, so for those who don't know, it was a recent birthday, and Adam and I were sitting there, and I was thinking, like, well, I feel older, I don't feel any smarter. So I'm thinking, what does this mean? Where am I in my life? And we were talking about what do we do in the podcast. We're like, you know what? Let's get into some things about what we're gonna do, before we die. And that's a little morose. It's more so let's think about it, things that we're looking forward to doing at some point in our lives. That's the way I'd like to frame it. And so
I definitely think that's the better way. Yeah. Not play too much on the fact that we're all mortal, but just we're enjoying life while we can. So
yeah,
happy birthday as well.
Yeah, thank you. And it was a fun one. As fun as it can be in the current world environment. So we had a good time. I think it's important to try and focus on things that you're excited to do at some point. And so that's what tonight's really about. Tonight we're talking about things that we want to do, and specifically, Adam, why don't you take us through what are the categories that we're doing tonight for our bucket list?
Yeah, so tonight we're drafting a bucket list. One thing we're going to mix up a little bit is one of the topics we're going to draft two things from. So we each have to draft from that category twice. And the topics are two things we want to do. Something we want to see, something we want to hear, something we want to taste, and a wild card. Could be whatever you want. So mixing it up with a wild card and the double dip of the do.
Yeah, and I think the do category, things you want to do, I mean, it's so wide open. There's so many options. So I think it's a good one to duplicate. I got a few. That one I think I had more picks ready to go than some of the other ones, just in terms of like, you had to sit there and you had to ask yourself, like, what do I actually want to see, So that's really the focus tonight is let's think about some positive stuff. So I know chat's saying we're still relatively young. We're not kids, that's for damn sure, but we're still relatively young. But this is all good stuff, and this is, I think, a bunch of these things that we're going to go through. They could happen soon. You never know. And
nothing's better than checking off a list. So if you make the list early, you can check it off even quicker, and Yeah.
We might as well get started, right? A journey
Yeah.
of 1,000 steps. So what's it? Starts with a single something. It's that's not how it goes, but something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So before we get into the draft, now what's how did things turn out last week? What was the what were the results?
Obviously, you bring it up this week. So first place, Timmy McBee with 48% of the vote. Adamy in second with 36, and Tito with 16. I felt pretty good after that one. I thought I had it in the bag for sure. Turns out not the case. Congratulations, 48%. Maybe there's some birthday votes in there. Not going to put an
Yeah.
asterisk on it, but maybe a bit of an asterisk.
Yeah, I before we signed off in the after show, I made sure to toss it in there just as a little reminder to people. So you're right. It was probably a little bit of that. I don't know if I've had 48, and it was one of those like I didn't. You never know how things are going to go. So I appreciate all the votes. I thought it was a pretty. Tyler was a great guest, and he had some really good a really good game plan going in. He was very well prepared, so we really appreciated having him on. And so we just thought, this week we'll go back to our original format, just the two of us. And we'll yes, Tito, I see it, and we'll should be a good one. So we know the categories, we know the topic, we know the results from last week. Let's get into our other draft of the evening. So Adam, what are you drinking tonight?
Yeah, I tried to go a little topical, so I chose something from LA Ale Works in Hawthorne, Los Angeles, California region. So a thing that's often on a bucket list is, hopping in a car, maybe a convertible, and just cruising. So I'm going with the Cruisin' Juicy Double IPA. It says, take the Idaho 7 to the Lemon Drop to the Sbarro, and you'll be cruising into hazy notes of tropical fruit and lemony citrus. So I can get behind that.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good to me. And that's funny that you mentioned that. I ended up with a pretty similar one. So I was also thinking about, that sounds like a pretty good retirement plan. It's just cruising. Mine's a little bit more out there, literally. So I'm drinking a Cruising Through the Galaxy, which is a hazy IPA from Cameron's. And Cameron's is in Oakville, Ontario. These 3 types of hops, and this is one of the few that I actually know that. So I thought you'd appreciate that. It's got Mosaic, it's got Galaxy, and it's got Topaz. And just, in case anybody's out there, we do a lot of food stuff on here, and the food pairing would be fish tacos, Chipotle turkey burgers, and just barbecue in general. So, should be a good one. And, I don't think we're ever going to get to cruise to the galaxy at any point in our lives. You never know. It could happen, but that would sure be a heck of a bucket list item. So I thought that'd be a good one. And, all right, so we're going to jump right in here. And before we do, Adam, I'm going to do the coin toss. You good? You ready?
Yep.
All right, let's go.
Tails never fails.
It is tails. I feel like tails has been coming up a lot recently. I got to go back and audit this. Yeah, okay, that's fine. I got to be honest. I mean, at one of these times I'll get fed up. No, I'm kidding. There's too much integrity. So what are you going to do? You're going to go first? You're going to go second?
I'm not fully certain. I haven't thought through all the possibilities of having to like double dip in the do categories. So I think I'm just going to go first.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to go first. So I think there's a clear first overall here. And I'm happy to take it. When we were discussing the categories, I think we said C is kind of something like a natural place. So this might have to fall under C instead of do.
Yeah.
So I'm going to choose the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I was up there for me. Yeah. Okay.
I think the Super Bowl is a clear number one. I'm going to go to it when it's not in Minnesota or New York. I'm going to go to one of the more southern places because I don't think Minnesota in February is nicest weather. So maybe choose Florida, stick with that Margaritaville vibe. I think it would be a good time. My team doesn't even necessarily have to be playing there. I'm just happy with the overall experience. You get to see a great halftime show. I'm happy to go to the Super Bowl. Firmly will place that on my bucket list. And I guess I can't go with yours because it's not going to be on yours.
No, that's yeah, that is disappointing. I think you'd be fun. I mean, although I know football. I obviously don't know it nearly as well as you, so I'm sure I'd be asking you a lot of questions. But Super Bowl was up there just for like the experience. And yeah, I think when we talked about what this category would be, we were thinking something that is like stationary, and I know the Super Bowl's not stationary, but like you have to go to it's a set location and you have to go to it. And I guess, I'm okay with that. I'm not going to argue that. Like, it moves around, obviously, which is different than like a Wonder of the World, which obviously doesn't really move around. But I think it's a great choice. And for you personally, I think it's a great choice just because obviously it's something you're passionate about. And so, yeah, I'm not gonna argue with that one. I think it's a top pick. I've heard that I say I'm not going to argue, but I've heard it's a little like the experience is a bit overrated. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if you've heard that. I've heard it's like not everything's just like crazy, and I don't know. But like it's not, what you think it's going to be when you go, but I could be wrong. I've never been, and so it could just be bad rumors.
Yeah, and for the record, I would like to go to a real Super Bowl. Last season was a COVID season, so I'm not counting that Super Bowl. That
Really?
one doesn't count. So
Really? You're saying
massive.
you're saying that if the Chiefs won, that's what you would say?
I was consistent the whole season
Oh,
long.
yeah,
I
okay.
would say,
Okay.
yeah, there's a bit of an asterisk on this one. It just got bigger when they ended up losing. So
Okay. Yeah, all right. Well, fair pick. I definitely went a different direction, and I went with something that I kind of want to see. Okay, so this goes back to like like a weird fantasy of mine, which is not how it sounds, but um, when I think of like a true I obviously am a proud Canadian person. I love Canadian culture. I think an important thing to Canadian culture is hockey, and I love outdoor hockey. That being said, that's not really where I'm going. But my like weird little fantasy that I've had for a long time is playing outdoor hockey, or ODR, outdoor rink, up north, like under the stars, and ideally under Aurora Borealis, Northern Lights. And so I think, like, in my head, that's like I don't think that's an experience that's going to happen, but I have had like a strong desire to see the Northern Lights at some point in my life. Obviously, there's other parts of the world that you can see them. It's not limited to Canada. I just know that there are parts of Canada, which obviously is closer to me, where it's accessible. It's kind of luck. Like, you can't necessarily go, be certain you're going to see it. Unlike the Super Bowl, where if you pay money, you can go no matter what. So it's got that like draw to me where it's like you have to take a chance. You don't even know if you're going to get to. And so if I can guarantee, like if I can check that off my bucket list, I think that'd be pretty neat. And I don't know. I think there's something about like a fleeting aspect of like nature where it's well known, and it's obviously an incredible sight, and not many people have seen it, but like everybody that has seen it says it's worth going to look. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Northern Lights.
beautiful would be a great thing to see. I'm stuck up on this pond hockey under the Borealis there, because you're going to lose a lot of pucks. I don't know, like one shot misses the net, that's gone. Like, you're not getting that back. I don't think it lights up everything that much. So
Yeah, I didn't say
it's interesting how you introed it that way. I don't know.
Yeah, it's you see. I don't know. I guess yeah. There's been like commercials that people are in chat are mentioning. I don't know. Like, and there's this famous tournament that's like it's the longest like game in the like longest game. Every year they have a very long like multiple. I don't know if it's like multiple weeks, but it's definitely multiple days, and it's like they never stop the game, and it's kind of in I think Western Canada and a little north. And I like in my head I'm always like that would be the coolest thing in the world if you could. And they play all day, like all day and all night. Obviously they have lights. I don't know if those lights would kill the view, probably, I guess, but that's why I just in my head I had this like before I died that would be the coolest thing I'd love to do that. So anyways,
Yeah, maybe someone from afar calls in, tells you to turn off the lights.
Everybody
some
stops and stands, and then yeah, I just thought that'd be like a pretty fun, and again, not limited to Canada, but I thought that'd be a fun Canadian experience. Okay, that one was hard. I didn't know what I would like. I like obviously I'm thinking of like amazing things in the world, but that was actually like a true to me answer, so I'm gonna go with that. Okay, my pick. I'm gonna go. This isn't even like necessarily a first pick. It's just this is something I only have one answer to, so I'm just gonna pick it. I don't think you would pick it, but that's things to hear before you die. And this is an interesting one because it's just It can be anything. It's just something not before you die. Things to hear in your lifetime. Things you'd like to hear in your lifetime. So I was looking and I was trying to do an analysis of this. I'm like, what's feasible, and I would genuinely be like truly excited about and seek it out. And hear like the sound and hear like that's a weird concept to think of it and put on a bucket list. So I was excited about this category, but my only answer to this is a Spice Girls reunion concert. And as anybody that's watched a few of our episodes knows, that I love British pop, especially 90s and 2000s British pop. My favorite being the Spice Girls. They're all still like doing, like they've had solo careers, they've had lots of different experiences, and they're still, to my knowledge, similar to the Backstreet Boys, fully like able to perform. I don't know or think this is going to happen, but if I like had the opportunity, I think that'd be one of the most fun reunion concerts you could see. And like I thought about like classic artists or see artists that were famous or incredibly talented years ago. I still think they'd have it, and I don't know. I think getting them together would be awesome. So that's going to be my answer.
Okay. I guess a couple notes. Were they talented? Absolutely. Did they make great songs? For sure. But did they have that great of voices, though? That's my question.
Have you not seen Spice World?
Well, I've seen it. It was probably 20 years ago at this point. But
yeah. For sure. I mean, it's any artist that isn't at the top of their game now. You're like, you have to think like, are they the same? Of course not. Just like professional athletes 10, 20 years later are clearly not the same. I don't know how like your voice goes after a while. I get it. It's the same reason the Backstreet Boys like brought in a new frontman, because he was brought in to like carry the band essentially. I still have faith,
Okay.
But that's a fair criticism.
Definitely some good songs. They're going to do, I guess it's mainly about hearing them, but
yes.
It's going to be a good show. They're going to do some dances. They're probably going to come out with that classic Union Jack outfits.
Yep.
At least one of them. Yeah, one of them is still going to.
I just think like Spice Up Your Life as like an opener to their concert would be like the best. I just gotta go ballistic. So yeah,
they'd have to open with that.
I think so. I think it's the best like starting. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's a good pick. It's a good pick. I'm gonna do something similar here.
Okay.
But I think I'm gonna go with someone that I feel is more vocally talented than them, and her prime started probably, I don't know the exact date, but probably like 98 range. And she still has a fantastic voice. There is an album that she made of her live concert. It got nominated for Grammys. And I need someone who's going to bring that energy to the show. You're going to hear not only her, but the whole crowd. I need someone who can slay.
Beyonce?
Someone with the hot sauce in the bag swag. I'm going with Queen Bee.
Yeah.
Beyonce. I'm going to a Beyonce concert. I've been listening to the Homecoming album all day. It's fantastic. She has like a brass band behind her. She has a bunch of different drum lines. It's just a great show. She gets Destiny's Child out there. She gets Jay-Z out there. There's like different styles of music. So you kind of get the different versions of Beyonce, which is fantastic. As a card-carrying member of the Beehive, I couldn't pick anyone else. So
yeah, I mean, great choice in the sense that I still think she has most of like what she had in like 2007. Like I'm sure live she's still incredible. So I can't argue that. I do agree that a cool aspect would be that if she's able to implement like the different, you go to see a band that has 20 years worth of music. They play the early stuff, the middle stuff, and their late, like they play crowd pleasers and they show the different genres. Of course, that'd be great. If she was like bringing out Kelly Rowland, like yeah, awesome. I think I don't know. I actually saw you listening to the album today, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. I should have seen this coming. So I'll have to check it out because that sounds good. But yeah, I mean, I can't really argue with that other than like she's still like I don't know how much is she performing, like relatively, like is it still that hard to see her live right now? Like
Right
is
now,
it,
yeah.
my question is it bucket list worthy if it's like not that difficult to do?
I think just if you want to see a great show on your bucket list, you want to hear a great show, that's a great show.
Yeah.
You got, she opens with Crazy in Love. You have all the like the hair spins and everything. She's fantastic. She's fantastic.
I don't disagree.
You
I
got,
just it's like if you picked a band that was in their prime now, I'd be like, yeah, that's, I would want to see that show too. But is it like life defining concert? Maybe. I don't know. That's, we're gonna have to see what the voters say. And on that note, I don't think we mentioned, for those that don't know, I'm sure most of you listening do, but for those that don't know, we need your votes. We'll put up a poll after the show, running all day tomorrow, which is Wednesday. You can also feel free to DM us on Instagram if you miss the poll. And so our Instagram handle is at Drafts and Drafts Podcast. So you'll have to let us know. Beyonce, Spice Girls. I don't know. It's up in the air. It's up in the air.
there's a lot of people who have like skydiving on their bucket list.
Yeah.
That's easily attainable. They just have to go do it.
Yeah, but I agree.
I don't think a bucket list is like, yeah.
I agree. I think because concerts are such a widespread experience, that to pick one that is still like it kind of needs to have the element of like once in a lifetime component, right? Like if you were like, people go to concerts in a regular year multiple times a year in theory, and so whereas like, so if somebody was skydiving multiple times a year, they wouldn't put that on their bucket list because that's just like a regular thing for them. Anyways, that's how I thought of it. But I don't, again, you like what you like, and I think I should have a great show. So I'm not gonna criticize you that more than I already have for the last 5 minutes. Okay. All right. The board is yours.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go to the do category.
That's fair.
And I think I'm going to take a clear number one, the do category, and that's African safari. It's pretty chalk. Potentially at Serengeti National Park, see the Great Migration. You get a lot of wildebeest, a lot of zebras. I'm sure they'll take you to other places where you can see other animals rather than just wildebeest and zebras, but zebras or zebras, as some people call them. I'd like to see a large amount of those migrating. That'd be interesting to see. And then you get to see probably elephants, lions, antelopes, springboks, tons of different animals. I think that's kind of like a once in a lifetime thing. But maybe I'll enjoy it so much that I will repeat that activity again. So we'll see. But African safari, I think that's high on everyone's bucket list. So happy to take it here.
In a nutshell, like the thought of it is obviously amazing and an experience that most people don't get, and has so many elements to it that we'd all be lucky to go through that. However, I personally am not super adventurous. That's not a redeeming quality about me. I'm just not. I wish I was. Like I like having a nice hotel, and I'm not saying you can get that on safari based trips, but obviously there's, I don't know if we're talking about like you're getting the top tier, like most expensive trip, or whether you're just like, if we're just thinking of it in and of itself, like I don't know. That's like, it's scary to me. Or if we're assuming you're going to be fine. It's the same thing with skydiving, right? Like I'm not going to pick skydiving because I'm terrified of open heights. And so like, I wouldn't pick it because it's not something I want to do. I think a lot of people want this. I think it's a good choice. I don't think you're going to get a lot of people other than myself being like, I don't know if I want to do that. But personally, unless I'm like getting like going on like the nicest possible thing, I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I have like the guts, I guess, is the way I'm trying to describe it.
It's not super like life threatening.
No.
Right? So
I don't
think you feel danger at any point. You're just observing. And I'm sure they have a glamping option. I already have tickets to the Super Bowl, so I think budget is really an issue right now. Yeah, like you're right. I don't think there's actual any life threatening. Like these trips wouldn't be popular if there was any kind of life threat. It's just more like a comfort thing. Like it's
it depends. It would depend on a lot of things, like where you're staying, how the trip is set up. Or yeah, I don't know. My question to you is, I guess, outside of the fact that it's a very expensive experience, why don't more people do it? Is it literally just the money aspect? And if that's a fair point, of course, but is there more to it than that? Why isn't it a more popular choice?
I think it's fairly expensive, and you also have to. I'm not sure of how many direct flights there are from either Los Angeles or Toronto to. You probably have to fly to Cape Town, so it's probably a bit of a journey to get there. It's going to take some time once you're there, so I think it's a pretty big time investment.
Yeah.
And I think you make a decent point how you're probably not staying in a five-star hotel. Um, so it's far away from Margaritaville, that's for sure. But
Do you like how I have made it so that you're arguing against your own selection, isn't it?
yeah, his mind games are getting to me. Oh.
Anyways, yeah, interesting choice.
But I'm up for those challenges, and at this point, I've made the time for it. I have the resources.
You have the resources. We're assuming you
So
have the resources. Okay. That's yep, no, that's fair. That's fair. I'm gonna go in a little bit of a different direct. I have two choices that I want first and second, and I think yeah, okay. So my top choice in this is a little unconventional, and some people I think it'll resonate with, and others they'll be like, that's really dumb. That's not that interesting. And this has been, again, similar to the Aurora Borealis outdoor experience. This has been like a dream of mine for a long time. Kind of led to, similar vein of like why we've done this podcast, just like something along those lines. But something I really want to do, but I'm too scared to do, or I have a lot of hesitation. I really want to start a business. And I don't know if that's going to be like put everything I have into it and like try and make it my life's, my career, or whether it's just something on the side. I think, and I don't even necessarily know what it would be. I don't have anything that I certainly want to do, hence why I'm still sitting here without one. I just think the whole aspect of like taking the jump, taking the risk, putting yourself out there, putting yourself into something, building it, growing it, time and energy. It's terrifying to me. Obviously lots of people do it, and some make it work and some don't, and that's the risk and the challenge. It's just, what I personally, when I look back on my life, I know that I want to make something, and I think if I don't try, I'm going to regret it. And so I think at some point, I don't know how it's going to look, but I think starting a business is just something that I have to do at some point. So who knows what it'll look like, but that's my first things that I'd like to do.
That's a really honest answer, and I appreciate that. Yeah, like it's always a bit of a metaphorical skydive to start a business. Yeah, so I think I think it's just finding an idea or a skill set that you can exploit the market with. I'm sure it's not for everyone. It takes a ton of commitment, a ton of hard work, and you're not scared of the hard work, and might cut into your golfing time. But once again, I'm more Margaritaville on the beach type, so I don't know if that's in my cards.
Hey,
but
my ideal plan would be to start the business and then grow the business on the golf course, and then it's like a win-win. You know what I mean? Going to the traditional. I mean, that's not for everybody, but or have it do really well and then spend most of my time golfing. And I mean, listen, I don't know. Yeah, I think people that know me know I'm like a safe. Like I like to be in my comfort zone, and even with like my career choice currently and all that kind of stuff. So who knows? But that's up there. So okay, wow. All right, so 3 down, 3 to go. We got things to do left. We got things to taste, and we got wild card. I'm gonna jump over into the things to taste category. And so, we didn't get into super specific details on like, does this have to be like a literal food? Does it have to be a specific drink? We just kind of like something you want to taste in your lifetime. And there's a couple types of food that I love, and especially in the area that I live in my city, and there's a lot of good choices there. And there's some places, thankfully, I live in a city that's got a ton of culture and diversity, and it's got a fantastic experience for people that want to try different things. But the one thing I don't think I would love to try and see like how close it is I would love to try Japanese cuisine in Japan, aka sushi and like Kobe beef and things of that nature. If you're gonna box me in, I'm gonna pick sushi in Japan, but I think they obviously have a lot more to their cuisine than just sushi. But I picture in terms of like going to the source and the freshness and the expertise and the culture. I think it's just got so many elements going to it that and obviously, like, I'm not selling it on like going to Tokyo or other places in Japan, because I'd obviously love to do that. But I just think like let's go right to where it started and get the freshest experience and the most, I guess, I want to say original to the culture experience in terms of that cuisine as I possibly can. So that's going to be my choice.
I think I'm gonna make you choose one like dish. I don't think you can choose all of Japanese stuff.
I'll take sushi then. I'll take sushi. That's fine. Okay. That's fine. I mean, I don't think you take.
Yeah, sushi in Japan.
Sushi in Japan. For the Instagram poll, that's what it's going to say. Yeah, sushi in Japan.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was considering like ramen. They have like Subway ramen shops.
Ooh, yeah.
Ramen is so good. Sushi is great too. And I've never had in Japan, so that would be something I would absolutely do if I'm there. It'd be interesting to see the differences.
Yeah, how like Americanized a lot of what we're eating over here is compared to like what would be. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. The traditional Philadelphia roll probably isn't huge in Tokyo.
No.
Actually, I think that's where it originated. Yeah.
I think so.
Philadelphia rolls originated in. Yeah.
The sister city to Philadelphia, in the U.S. is Philadelphia, Japan. Yeah, fun fact.
Yeah, one of my favorite things to do is like sit at a sushi bar and just get whatever the special is. Like Sugarfish here has a menu item just called Trust Me, and it's just whatever. You just trust them. Yeah, so
that sounds good.
And it's typically good. My buddy is a big sushi guy. He used to work at a sushi restaurant. He says you can tell quality sushi if you take a bite and you don't feel any difference in resistance between the fish and the rice.
Interesting. I've never eaten sushi with that thought. I will have to next time just to see. Yeah. But yeah, wow.
And one of the ways to judge a sushi place is actually not order any fish, and they have like a scrambled egg on top of rice roll. It's not a roll. It's like nigiri.
Yeah.
And he said that's the most technical thing a sushi chef has to do.
Really?
And I tried it. This is disgusting. I never want to eat it. So.
I definitely have not had that. No.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to go a similar route, and I'm going to choose a pizza from Naples.
Oh.
Love a good Neapolitan style pizza, and I'll go to the birthplace of it in Naples. I'm sure there's tons of places I can go. I could eat pizza all day. I could eat pizza for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and post college party snack. So
yeah,
happy to travel to Naples, get some good Neapolitan style pizza. One of the most important things is a good buffalo mozzarella, and a lot of times it has to be shipped from Italy because there's not that many places that make buffalo mozzarella in the North America. So getting really pristine, like eggshell white buffalo mozzarella on a pizza made a few kilometers or miles nearby, I don't think I could beat that. So love a good Neapolitan style pie. So I'm gonna go with pizza in Naples.
That's interesting. I've been to Italy, but I've never been to Naples, so I have not had that experience. That's like I can't even. I mean, my first order is not Neapolitan, generally speaking. So like, I can't speak with like a ton of experience on it. I can say in terms of like freshness of ingredients, like the tomato sauce and the tomatoes, like yeah, there's no better place in the world. Like you gotta go with that. That's a great choice. It's so interesting. Like, do you know? And I'm putting you on the spot. Do you know the like history? Like, I didn't think pizza. I don't know how it. I don't know how native to Italy pizza is. Like, whether it originated. Like, I have no idea. I know there's like misconceptions about where it was started and all that. Um, but yeah, I mean, in terms of going to like taking a food you love and going to probably the best place in the world that makes it, it's hard to argue with that, right? I think we both kind of had that game plan.
Yeah, I think I don't know if it originated there, but I know that's the
They,
birthplace of Neapolitan style pizza, which
yeah,
I always loved. It's floppy. I'll give you that. It's not. There's some New York flop to it, which I know some people hate, but I'm fine with it, and I'm sure if any place I went to, if they weren't good, they'd be run out of town. Uh, I think the fresh mozzarella is important to me, so I'll take that.
nice. All right, good choice, good choice. This is gonna be. We'll see. We're putting up Beyonce versus Spice Girls, pizza versus sushi. We
Yeah.
might get some division here. We might get some division. Should be interesting. All right, board's yours now.
Yes, we got do the second one of do and then wildcard left.
Yeah,
Okay, I think I'm gonna go do again.
I think we should. I'm glad we saved wild card to the end. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I don't know how well this one's gonna go over, but I'm gonna take it anyway. So I saw a video on YouTube of a guy going spearfishing in Hawaii. Not a big fisherman, like don't care about fishing at all. But seeing him go spearfishing, I thought this is like the coolest thing ever. So it's been on my actual bucket list for a while now. So basically, you go out on a boat, you get some weights, a snorkel on you, and you get this like you don't actually throw the spear; you have like a spear gun. Not a big hunter, but fish I don't really care about. um, but you take like the spear gun and you try to shoot fish, you reel them back in, and then you basically get to cook whatever you end up with. And so you can set up a little grill by the beach, cook some freshly caught speared fish. Hopefully your spear doesn't make it too hard to like fillet or anything. I think it would be a ton of fun. I'm sure I wouldn't catch anything, but hopefully my instructor would catch something and they'd give it to me. I think it would just be a fun time. You get to go to Hawaii too, so always good.
Yeah, I got a string of questions for you. Number one,
Yeah.
oh no, have you filleted? Do you know how to fillet fish? I do not. No, I obviously, as like 2 weeks ago proved, I don't know the first thing. But can you fillet a fish?
I would probably, with most of the things I caught, I'd probably grill it whole and then just kind of like pick at it. I
Yeah.
don't know how to clean it though. I should have said clean, but hopefully the instructor could help with that.
Okay. Also, I literally just realized why it's called a filet o fish, and I feel like an absolute idiot. Okay.
Yeah.
Why? That's weird. Okay, number two. Do you know what's the best? Do you know what? But like a good. Are they all good in Hawaii? Is there an island that's particularly like? Where did you see that? Do you know? I don't know.
I think there are a few different spots. I don't I don't know off the top of my head, but I'll do that research before I book the plane ticket.
Yeah. No, I was just. And what? Why do you have weights? What do the weights do?
Because a lot of times in like your wetsuit and stuff, if you try to dive down far enough, you'll
Yeah.
just end up floating to the top.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to swim
Oh,
down
you
far
have
enough.
to. You have to. Oh, you like swim down in the. You literally.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm picture because of course spearfishing. I picture you standing like standing in the water, and
No, no.
so you're like
go on
swimming
a boat,
under.
you like dive in. It's kind of like a snorkeling trip, but you're using a spear to spear fish.
Wow.
Instead of just observing the fish, you're killing them and bringing them back for dinner.
That's that's unexpected. I mean, that sounds fun. Like that's actually again not adventurous, but that sounds like something I would do. Like
Yeah.
you know, it sounds like doable and Hawaii obviously great place to go. So no, that's a good choice. I have like been snorkeling in Hawaii, and it was like it was a great experience. So, and you like, yeah, the aquatic life there is phenomenal. So good choice. I was not expecting that out of you. I don't know why. I just feel like that was out there, but that's
it's
like
very out
very
of character,
specific. It's very
yeah,
specific,
yeah,
and it's not something that aligns with your usual interests. So
yeah.
I can't say
I
that.
actually met a guy here once, and he said, "Oh, I go spearfishing all the time." I said, "Oh yeah, like do you have a boat?" He's like, "No, I just like swim off the coast." He's like, "You have to be a pretty good swimmer and swim like at least a mile." I was like,
No,
"Yeah, can't do that.
no. Yeah,
I
I would
need
need to
a
be.
boat and a life raft like nearby."
Yeah,
So
and a guide to like hold my hand while I do anything. Yep. Okay.
yeah,
All right. Interesting choice. I'm gonna go again in a bit of a different direction, and this is also same thing. A fear of mine that I've been afraid to do this since I was like in the third grade. Um, but something I think with now that I have more life experience and more, I don't know, not like self confidence, but like more just sure, maybe just trust that it would be fine. But something I've always wanted to do and have always been terrified to do is be in some sort of live performance. I remember in grade 3 they had a play that was like Bugsy Malone, and like my teacher's like, oh, you should try out like because obviously I was like big, like I'm a big guy, so I was bigger, and they needed like a scary character, and they're like, oh, you'd be good, and I was too scared. Yeah, well, I was just like larger generally my entire life. So, yeah, they were like, "Oh, you'd be intimidating. Like this would be good for you." I couldn't do it. I was like, "No, I don't. I'm too afraid. Like I don't want to." Um, and I've always been like afraid of public speaking until recently. Like as you do more and more stuff in your life, you like kind of get more experience and you figure out things that work for you and things to make it go okay. And it's even the worst ones are like fine. So I think I might. I don't know. Like, could I stand on stage in front of 2,000 people and like act? I don't know. Like, I don't think so. I think I'd be terrified. But it's just something I've always wanted to do, and just push. Like, that's a boundary. Like people talk about like skydiving and bungee jumping. Like I know I don't want to do that. Like I know that I would likely pass out and just no, not happening. But that's a boundary like I'd actually try and push. And I think it'd be a really fun experience. And it's not like a regret in my life that I never did it when I was in school and like had the opportunities, but something now where if somebody's like, hey, would you want to do this? I'd try and force myself to say yes. So at some point in my life, I'd like to be in a live performance.
would a line be necessary to it? Because I know with the Nutcracker, like
Oh
the
yeah, yeah,
Royal
yeah,
Ballet of Canada does the Nutcracker performances,
yeah,
and what are the two? Are they like jesters?
yeah, yeah. And they change the
Uh,
athletes. They change like I know it's been like Kyle Lowry, Mitch Marner, Austin Matthews.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Um,
would that accomplish you to do?
I would.
There's a lot of performance in that.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
is, and like people in chat are like, you should try an improv class. I think, I think I would like want the structure of knowing what I'm supposed to say and when I'm supposed to say it. Just like when you do a presentation, like I could do a presentation to 100 people now and not really worry about it because as long as I'm prepared, I'm fine. Like I know I'll be fine. Whereas if you put me up in front of a bunch of people and just told me to like make things like I would be way less comfortable. So I think I'd want a rigid structure, which is why I would prefer more of like an acting like play style or like movie style situation. But I mean that'd be interesting. You never know. That would satisfy the goal, but I think that would be more scary to me than like saying my lines. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Debbie from marketing from chat says Timmy doesn't realize he does public speaking and improv every Tuesday at 9 p.m.
Yes.
This is all scripted.
All
We've written
scripted,
this whole thing
100%.
out beforehand.
We
Yeah.
even know
So
we've already messaged people to say certain things in chat so we can respond to them.
yeah,
No, it's way different as some of you may know from like work, in the current pandemic environment. Doing like online speaking is way different than like speaking in front of like people sitting in front of you. It's much easier when you're just like it's a number, but you're not looking at people's faces. You're not so it's a different experience. But this is why 100% why I think why I wanted to along the lines of like starting a business and live performance. I think that's what motivated myself at least to be like, hey, like it wasn't my idea, but like we were like, hey, we should do something. So Good point though. Okay. One category left.
Yep.
All right, guys. Wild card. So anything you want to do or see or touch or taste or whatever, anything. And this is, this is like, okay, so this is, again, I really tried to like go, oh, I remember what I wanted to ask you. That was another one. Do you actually have a bucket list? When you say it's on my bucket, you said spearfishing is on your bucket. Do you have one? Or like something resembling one?
I've there's been things where I'm like, I would like to do this. Like, I would like to go hiking in the south of France and look at ruined castles.
Yeah.
I think that would be cool. But, and I would like to go spearfishing. But all the things I've said tonight would be on if I had an official list, but not really. I think I probably just lost all my votes. No, you shot me again. The mind game.
No.
But like those two things, like spearfishing is absolutely something I would like.
This isn't my answer, but I want to go hiking. This is not my answer. I want to go hiking in New Zealand because it's like where they shot the Lord of the Rings and the environment. I was like, this place looks amazing, but I don't even know if that's a real thing. Like, I literally don't know if that's an option. I just like,
I've done that, yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
All right. No, feel a little flex there. Okay. No, I'm kidding. I know. I forgot you. That makes sense. But yeah, that's something I'd want to do for sure. Okay, my wild card. I'm getting criticism on the wanting to go hiking part, and I never even leave my house.
Timmy's wife in chat just said, "You want to go hiking?" in all caps. So
yeah. There's a little shock there in the right environment. Okay. So this is something similar to what you went with. I just put it into my wild card, and in terms of things you want to do in your life that I think it would be like an experience that is super rare but super meaningful, and it is like a place and it's an experience, but it's not. I didn't know if it really met any of our categories. I guess you could see it, but so obviously I'm going with the golf theme. Golf's important. Like, I love golf. It's fun. It's a big like relationship thing with, I guess, time spent with my dad and my parents and like mom, and something that like I look forward to every year. I don't watch that much golf, to be honest, but I do watch the Masters. And in terms of like, I thought about it, and I thought about sporting events that were unlike any other. And there's things that come to mind. Obviously, Super Bowls are like top of the list. Wimbledon, the Grand Prix, the Monaco Grand Prix. Like, there's so many, really, the World Cup. There's so many incredible sporting events. But in terms of like the difficulty to get tickets and the experience, and everybody that goes there says like it's like nothing they've ever experienced before. It's got like this huge allure similar to the Northern Lights, where even if you want to go, you can't necessarily go. You got to spend years trying to go. And the people that have gone are like, have just said nothing but amazing things. So I think the Masters would be, for me, like an experience that I 100% of all the things I said tonight, it's 100% the thing I want to do the most and the thing I would be most excited about. And, I'm going to spend the next 30 years trying to get in the freaking lottery and see if it works out. But that's definitely top of my list for me.
You could have gone two ways on this. And one of them was going to see the Masters.
Yeah.
Or play Augusta.
Ooh.
You chose going to see the Masters.
I didn't even think of it.
So much better.
But I don't think that's a good point. That's a really good counterpoint. I do know. I used to work for somebody that has played at Augusta, which is way more rare than going. You're right. So it's possible, but it's very unlike. I just didn't even think. Honestly, it didn't even cross my mind as being a possibility, because I'm like, there's no, unless I know one of the 300 people in the world that can get you on, like, there's just no way to do it. So I didn't even think that was like an option, but that would have been a better answer. Yeah, probably. So
yeah, and just like comparing kind of our two similar things, like, you want to go watch the Masters, you could play Augusta and it would be fine. If I played in the Super Bowl, I would cease to exist after the Super Bowl. I would be destroyed. Those men are huge. So I think playing Augusta, you'd be fine on the other end.
I get
it would probably hurt your confidence a little bit,
If I played
But
in the Masters, I would shoot 142 and
no,
be
I
the
meant
last.
just play Augusta. Play Augusta.
Yeah, but you're okay. But it's an unfair comparison because you're picking a team sport where you're actually going to get just like if I played against the professional athletes, I would get destroyed, just not physically, like emotionally and mentally and reputationally. But yeah,
I think I would rather play. I'm not a huge golf guy. I golf a
I
little
would
bit.
rather play. I would rather play. No, I
So
mean
like,
the number of people
I
in
would
the
probably
world that have
rather play,
yeah.
like Pebble Beach than go to the Master.
You'd rather play Pebble, but you can play Pebble Beach. You're not even that far. If you just want to fork out the 300 plus US, you can go play it whenever you want.
All right.
I just yeah no I just like you can't play Augusta unless you know the exact right person at the exact right time. And anyways, the guy that I know that played with Daniel Alfredson, and apparently Alfie shot like 76 and like made a huge putt in the last hole to win a bunch. Anyways, it was great. I don't know if any of that's true. I think it was, but it was just like a story I was told, and I was like, oh, Adam actually might appreciate that. So
great scenery. Last year it wasn't that great, so but moving forward is always great. You get the pimento sandwiches, right? That's the thing there.
Oh yeah, the $2, yeah, the $2, yeah.
Like pimento cheese between two slices of white bread, and that's like their go-to menu item.
Yeah.
I guess you get some of those. You probably get a couple pops.
I love sandwiches.
I know. I'm aware. All right. I'm gonna go with my wild card because that's all I've left.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna go with something I got from a Hannibal Buress joke, actually. And so he tells this joke where he's hosting a bachelor party for a friend, and they go down to New Orleans, and for something unique, he's like, maybe I can throw a parade. So he goes to the police department and he says, yeah, I would like to throw a parade. And they say, yeah, that's $300. So you get like three police officers to go with you. It's like, I think it's actually $600. I looked it up today, but you can throw a parade at any time in New Orleans. They've open container law. So basically you can just like go into a bar, order some drinks and have a parade. You can hire like a marching band to go with you. And even if it's just you and me, Timmy, the two of us can have a parade. How fun would that be to have a parade about nothing? Like maybe to celebrate once the world opens back up, me winning this draft, because I'm definitely going to win.
Doing pretty well.
We'll have a parade in New Orleans, just the two of us and a marching band and a police escort, but you can do that anytime. How fun would that be to have a parade for like the stupidest reason you can think of? So I'm going to go with that's my wild card. Having a parade for myself in New Orleans.
That's super.
Yeah, second one.
That's very wild card. How? Oh, it's because it was a joke. I'm like, how did you? How I would never have heard this nor thought of it.
It's $600 to have a parade at any point.
We'd have to bring people because just you and I on like in the back of a pickup truck driving down the street.
No, we're walking.
We're walking.
Yeah, I don't think you can get a car. I think it's just walking only. And it's my parade. I can do what I want. It's just you and me.
I would be so uncomfortable with that attention, being like, why do they have a police escort? Well, I know that, but that's, to me, I'm like, hey, to each their own. I think it'd be fun if you had like, if you had like a group of people and then you just like, hey, do you guys just want to like have a moving street party? Like that's, number one, great story to tell people that you like actually threw a parade in New Orleans. Number two, like, yeah, if as you walked along, people just jumped in and grabbed drinks and brought them out and kept going. Like, yeah, I mean, look, you got a recipe for success here. I think you need people to make it like optimal. I find it so like I can't imagine the police officers like just putting up with your shit all day. Like that's I can't like the amount of patience they must have. But
I don't think it's a full day parade. I think it's maybe like an hour.
No, I'm sure it's not a full day. But even still, they got to just like walk along while you're just like, yeah, that's a good answer. It's a very original answer.
Yeah. From everything I've read, it's two motorcycles and a police cruiser behind you. So they like stop traffic and everything. And yeah, you just get to go in a parade down like downtown New Orleans for a bit. pick up drinks at bars, open container laws. So it's like, oh, we're out of beer. Oh, bars everywhere. I can just go in.
That's a good
pick
answer.
another
I'm very curious. I feel like some people will love it, and some people will be like,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see myself doing that. I don't know. That's interesting. I think that was a great wild card choice. I was never at risk of taking that. So
Yeah, I figured it was probably fine.
yeah,
Yeah. So I'm happy with it. I think it would be a fantastic time. Obviously, it wouldn't just do you and me. I don't think. I think there would be other people there. Probably other people would join. I think it would be just a good time.
we can invite people in. Yeah, we can invite people in. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, as Debbie says in chat, it would just look like a fun police escort. It looks like you would be getting arrested slowly.
Yeah. And maybe you make it a bit of like a McLovin situation where you pretend to get arrested. You're like, hey, can you just pretend to arrest me for 3 blocks here?
Yeah.
And if the police is like one of their core responsibilities is help throw parades, I'm sure they're pretty like open. Just be like, you know what, that's part of the job. Gotta pretend to.
I just imagine like Johnson, you're on parade duty, and he's like, okay, I guess.
Is it a terrible assignment or is it a great assignment?
That's the question. I think it depends on the paraders, but yeah, hopefully we would be good ones.
It would be also awkward back in the police department being like, hey, Johnson, congratulations on your 100th arrest, and then Jackson, 50th parade this week. Pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah. I don't know. It'd be both a fun and I'm sure like I don't think people that are doing that are have all their faculties by the end, but yeah, you never know. We'd make that a hell of an hour though.
Yeah.
Great podcast, a moving podcast on the scene location.
Yeah.
You never know. All right. So with that, we have wrapped it up. And we'll do a quick summary. Adam, do you want to take the listeners through your choices tonight?
Yeah, for bucket list item I want to see Super Bowl. Bucket list item I want to hear Beyonce concert. Bucket list item I want to taste pizza in Naples. The 2 bucket list items I want to do are a parade in New Orleans and spearfishing in Hawaii. And the bucket list item I want to see is a African safari. Sorry, is African safari. I think I messed up some of the categories, but I'm close enough.
I'm sure the Instagram poll will be correct. So yes,
we'll sort it out. So
yeah, we'll sort it out. Yeah, I never would go in our draft order. I have the order, but I'll go in the draft order because I know it this time. Okay.
I was trying to be special today, and it didn't work. So
lesson learned, man. Lesson learned. The thing I want to see is the Northern Lights. The thing I want to hear is a Spice Girls reunion concert. The things that I want to do are start a business and be in a live performance. The thing that I want to taste is sushi in Japan. And my wild card bucket list item is to go to the Masters. So I feel like most of these things I might be able to accomplish like after the age of 50 because they're all pretty like old manny, but you never know. Should be fun. Okay, and before we wrap up, we got to hit the other drafts of the evening. So, Adam, how was your cruising IPA tonight? Double IPA, right?
Yeah, very juicy as advertised. It was delicious. This is top 3 that I've had on the show, so happy about it. Yeah.
Okay.
At some point, I need to make.
I think you do. I mean, we got to do it before we forget. Because I well, some of them I'd remember, but that's good. Top 3 is good. Top 3 is good. In my cruising through the galaxy, I mean, I can't like. There's 3 hops in there. Could I tell you that I knew there was 3 hops in there? No, but I know it before I went in, and I was looking for them, and I think I found 2 of them. Third one, I don't know. I found the Mosaic, and I found the Galaxy. I don't think I found the Topaz, but who knows? I thought it was great. 7 out of 9 would have again. I really enjoyed it, so quite refreshing. And so Adam, this is our 12th episode, and I did want to ask before we sign off, what do you think? 12 so far? You know, do you think we do 12? I mean, I think it's gone pretty good.
I think it has, yeah. Potentially already have a guest lined up for next week too. So we'll see. But I think it's going all right, and we appreciate everyone who votes in the Instagram poll, everyone who listens, and everyone who tunes in live. Appreciate them all. And I appreciate my mom for voting for me every time. So
yeah, you got a few. I mean, you got to. I know. There's a couple out there that are Adam specific voters, and listen. So I still pulled out the 48% last week in spite of that, and this week will be interesting because we haven't done a 2-person in a while. So, Candace, if you're listening,
there's no birthdays lingering over the.
Yeah, that's true. That's
putting
true.
an asterisk on the event,
That is true. All right, and so with that, the picks have been made, and the keg has run dry. And so we do want to say thank you to everybody that listened and watched tonight. We're going to stick around for the after show shortly after this. Make sure you hit us up on our Instagram at Drafts and Drafts Podcast, and we do this every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So we will be back next week. Thank you so much, everybody. Take care and have a good night.
See you guys.